Hello, everyone. My name is Lucara, and this is Eco. Day 12 ish. Yeah, no, day 12 on my 13th Eco server. Things are going pretty well. Obviously, not a lot of people on the last few days with the holidays and all. Let me just check my store stock really quickly here. And then, we're going to have to talk about pollution today. Not right away. This isn't my store stock. This is my butcher table. Store stock is over here. All right. Well, I don't have any blue sharks. I have everything, but I don't have a lot of most things. But I'm pretty sure we have like seven butchers this run. So even if I don't have stock, the other butchers do, right? Like, not a big deal. What about these research papers? Yeah, all kinds of those. All right. So I am going to make my way over to where my steam truck is, and we'll talk about pollution a little bit and what we're gonna do about it. The problem is pollution is going to be an issue. It's going to be a problem, just like it was last server. And none of the solutions are good. None of the possible solutions are good. Just straight up, they're all varying degrees of bad, right? But we'll discuss it. And we'll see if we can come up with a good solution together, or come up with the least bad solution together. Um, right? Because ultimately, all I want is for people to have fun and want to log into Eco, right? Um, but like if the sea level rises, people aren't going to want to log in. If all the farmers have to move all their fields because of temperature change, people aren't going to want to log in. Hey Raider, how you doing today? Um, put in laws for pollution. How do we do that exactly? I don't know. Uh, anyway, we'll discuss it here, but I want to talk about what pollution is and what we need to watch for first. Um, so let me just get to my steam truck because, yeah, and well, to my knowledge, there's no way to look at the pollution, like the pollution screen, without going to something that pollutes. Right? There's no hotkey for pollution screen. There's no pollution screen. Right? It's tied into the screen for any object that pollutes, essentially. Right? Although, I wonder, does the campfire pollute? Is the campfire considered a pollutant? I guess I could have looked at that and checked that. I'm not sure if it is. It might not be. I really don't know. So if we look at the truck, go to status. So right here. So this negative 245 number is the important one. And negative 245 is good. If this number was always at negative 245, we wouldn't have to talk about pollution, right? We wouldn't have to talk about it. But last night, for example, it was up, it was it was a positive. It wasn't like super high positive. It was like 50, 70. I think it might have went as high as like 120 at one point. But basically, if this number goes positive, and this number is just the sum of these three numbers, right? So we got pollution added, or CO2 from pollution, CO2 from animals, and negative CO2 from plants. These are capped. These are at their caps. So basically, right now, the plants are absorbing more CO2 than is being created, which is what you want. But if this number becomes positive, we are not pulling out, the trees are not pulling as much CO2 out as is being created, right? So it was at 240 for one take. That's really bad. So if this is positive, this number here, this 325, which is the minimum, it starts to rise, right? And it takes time. It's not going to just rise instantly. But the problem is, once it hits 340, which 340 is not much higher than 325, right? Once it hits 340, temperature change happens. And I think if it changes like 1 degree, it's not a massive change, but it means farmers might have to move their fields, right? And look, I'm not a farmer. I've never done farming, but I'm sure I would rather not have to move my fields if possible. The real issue is if it gets up to 420 parts per million, which is quite a bit higher than 340, right? It would take time. Um, well, when I logged in last night, this was above 325. It was over 325 at one point. I don't know when Punch was talking about it. But the reason we need to talk about it, so let me, I'll come back around. So sea level rises when this goes above 420. Nobody wants sea level rise. So many people have like stores and docks and everything else this run, right? Like, and some people planned ahead, some people are nice and high, right? But the number of people that would kind of get screwed over by sea level rise is very high. It's very high. So yeah, so I don't know when Punch mentioned it specifically. I just know last night when I logged in, it was high, right? Um, and yeah, I don't want sea level rise or temperature rise to happen in a perfect world. The real issue is whenever oil drilling starts, and there's going to be basically there's like a in the next 4 days or so, there's a very, very, very real danger of these negative things happening if we don't do something about it, if we don't manage it, right? Essentially, eventually we'll get wind turbines, right? And then it shouldn't be too bad. But wind turbines are a ways away, right? Electronics research has to be done. I think you need like level 5 electronics to make wind turbines, and just the ability to make wind turbines is enough. They have to actually be made. They have to be placed. It takes time, right? So whenever oil drilling and advanced carpentry, advanced masonry, electronics industry all come out, between when those come out to when we get wind turbines, well, we need wind turbines for clean energy, right? Which is electronics, but it's like 8 steel bars, 4 gearboxes, 4 advanced circuits, which is the really tough part, and 8 servos. But you need level 5 electronics, right? So you can't just, you need oil products to level up electronics, right? So it's not like we can just say, oh, just don't do electronics until we get wind turbines. That's not going to work, right? So these next 4 or 5 days or whatever it is, we got to be really careful with our pollution. So there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 potential things we can do. Well, the first thing we can do is just do nothing. Let it happen, right? If we pollute, we pollute. If temperature rises, so be it. We could go in with that attitude, right? I'd rather not. I think there's way too many people that would be negatively impacted by that, between the farmers and the people that live close to water. Like blacking out right here, blacking out would be fine, right? North Dakota over there, North Dakota would be fine. Sandra, Miso, like there are people that would be fine. But if you look at the map, like the amount of people that live on the coast is very, very high. Like people spend a lot of time building these docks, right? Like look at these docks, boardwalk, docks, right? Yeah, I won't be fine either. I mean, my store literally is on the beach. I won't be fine either. Although I could just, I have high ground property as well. I could move, but I don't want to have to move, right? I don't want to have to. So we could do that. We could just say whatever. We could say whatever, but also watch it, right? The canal. I do want to go check out the canal today. Like, I'm not going to talk about pollution for 3 hours. I just wanted to talk about it at some point, and maybe I'll kind of loop back around to it later in the stream, because generally more people come into the stream as time goes on. So basically what that means is we don't actually make a law, right? We don't put any laws in place. We don't actually change anything, but we watch this carefully. And if this CO2 number, if this number turns positive, we need people to turn their stuff off. The problem with that, and the problem with one of the other things, and we could do the same thing, but it's very easy to make a law that prevents pollution. I'll talk about tailings in a minute. Yeah, that is something we need to talk about. I'll get there, Stefan. The other thing we could do is whenever this gets high, me or one of the other admins could jump on, put in a law in place that prevents pollution completely. Just leave that law in for like half an hour or an hour. Once the pollution comes down, we could take it off. The other thing is what Raider just said is some kind of time limit on smelters. But smelting isn't even, cement kilns are worse than blast furnaces. Oil stuff is worse, right? We can't just say, oh, screw you smelters, right? But the other problem is if we do put a limit on smelters or on pollution, like I don't know how to do this right now, but one possible solution would be to have a law that you can only pollute so much during a day. And if you hit that cap, you can no longer pollute anymore, right? And not just the smelters, that'd be everybody. And the steam engines, combustion engines, yeah, it's not, and I'm not saying smelters don't pollute because they do, but also the problem is if we do limit smelters or if we do limit pollution, it's going to slow us down even more, right? We're already advancing slower than normal this run, right? If we put a cap on pollution or we put a cap on smelters in any way, it's going to slow us down anymore. And I'm okay. I'm okay with going slow, but some people don't like going slow. And right? Yeah, I don't know, Kitty. Like I've barely been on the last 3 days, right? Because I've been busy with family stuff and holidays and whatnot. I'm just saying, in theory, cement kilns are at least as bad as smelters, right? But yeah, I don't think there's a lot of rebar out there right now. There's just not a lot of steel, right? I'm just saying in theory. I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I'm saying in theory, right? Yeah, oil drilling is just as bad, right? Yeah, so right now we're at negative 328. Again, if it stayed there, we'd be fine. We wouldn't even have to have this discussion, right? The other potential thing we could do to get around it, and I think I like this solution the least, but what we can do is we can go into the files. Yeah, we only have like 2 advanced smelters, don't we? So, I mean, there's 3 advanced smelters. I mean, that's not enough. Like, or add a cost to it. Yeah, that's possible too. Like a pollution tax. But again, I don't know how to do that right now. I would have to figure it out. And that's fine. I could figure it out, but yeah, there's only 3 advanced smelters. That's not enough for a server with this many people. It's not nearly enough. I mean, look, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I've said it a million times. You can never have enough smelters. Cost would just get pushed to customers. Yeah, well, that's true too, right? The other thing we do is we could go into the files, right? There's the eco.sim file. Let me bring it up here. We can talk about it. So just mirrors my face bigger here. So there's all kinds of things we could change here. I mean, straight up, there's a Boolean right here. There's 2 Booleans, right? Sea level sim enabled. We can just make this false, and then sea level doesn't rise. Temperature sim enabled. We can make this false. Temperature change doesn't happen anymore. Easy, done, right? Or we could raise, there's a couple of variables that we could raise, like minimum CO2 per day from plants. We could raise that or lower that. because it's a negative number, Anyway, would something we do, right? There's a few options in here that we could do to take care of it. I like this option the least, but at the same time, we've done this similar thing with whatchamacallit. What's the word I'm looking for? Spoilage. That's how I turned off spoilage, is by going into these files, right? Yeah, my face is definitely bigger when I go to that, when I just do my display. But yeah, I feel like that's a last resort, those files. But so yeah, let's talk about tailings. Now, tailings are kind of a separate issue to what I've been talking about. Like, tailings don't add to the type of pollution we're trying to fight, right? Like, tailings are not what's going to raise the temperature or make the sea level rise. But yeah, I'm assuming more people are planning advanced smelting kitting, but I don't know. We still shouldn't just leave tailings around just because they're not. I don't know where is this. Where are these tailings, Kitty? Right here? No. Anyway, I guess I don't want to pick on person. There's a large lumber stockpile somewhere in the desert. I forget where it is. Again, I don't want to pick on this person, so I'm not even gonna show. But there's somebody with a stockpile full of tailings just at the surface. Don't do that. Bury your tailings. And again, I'm not saying tailings are why the sea level's rising, but it causes other issues. I get it. In theory, if the tailings are out by themselves and there's no crops around or whatever, it's not a big deal. But I'd still prefer people not leave their tailings out and about. Like, here's the thing. If somebody's not going to take the effort to bury their tailings, are they really going to want to listen when I say, hey, or one of the admins say, hey, CO2 is getting too high, turn off your machines? That person, if they can't be bothered to bury their tailings, they're probably not going to be bothered to check pollution and turn off their machines when CO2 gets high. Right? I mean, I don't think it does. It might, Xandra. Well, it killed crops, Kitty. It'll kill any plants around it, right? Because you can't say, oh, you're fine if you put tailings in the surface here. Because as soon as you allow somebody to put tailings in the surface here because there's no crops around, then somebody else is just going to put their tailings at the surface too, somewhere else where it is a problem. And then that person's going, well, this person's allowed to have tailings at the surface. Why am I not allowed to have tailings at the surface? Right? So you just, no tailings at the surface. Right? And look, I could be wrong. Maybe it does have an impact. But I'm pretty sure ground pollution doesn't cause air pollution, which is what causes all the real problems. Kevin, but I think if you pass that law, that means you would have to smelt underground, right? You know what I mean? Or if you put that law in place, Kevin, if it didn't, like, if smelting, I get what you're saying. You're saying place is not created by smelting. They would just leave them where they got created, right? Yeah, you want to go at least 20 blocks deep. I mean, I forget the exact number, but basically it's every 5 blocks you go down, it's half as much. So 5 blocks down is half as much. 10 blocks down is 25% as much. 12 and a half, 6. So at 20 blocks deep, you'd only be polluting 6% as much. Right? And if you go another 5, it would be 3. So really 30, but I mean 6% as much it's almost negligible at that point. Yeah, they changed pollution sometime between server 11 and 12. They changed the balance on pollution. And look, okay, and here's ultimately my real problem right now is I feel like the direction the developers are going with the game, or sorry, the vision the developers have for the final product of this game, and it's their game. Their vision can be whatever they want it to be. Um, their vision, though, I don't feel like fits my definition of fun. That's what I'm scared of. I just feel like some of the changes they make just make the game less fun, right? I just like from okay, so I like y'all for the most part, right? I've enjoyed playing Eco with y'all, but it's just getting to be less fun, I feel, a lot of the time. Like the changes they made, like spoilage and settlements, and now the pollution changes. And I get it. It's Eco. It's supposed to, pollution should matter, but I feel like they've gone too far, right? Oh, I know, but I feel like, look, I'm somebody who likes to play vanilla, right? I don't like playing mods, right? Generally speaking, when I play games, like if I was to play Arc, I would play with, I would maybe put on like Structures Plus and the Awesome Spyglass. That's it. If I was to play Minecraft right now, I would play completely vanilla, right? I'm not a mod guy. I don't want to have to, um, I don't want to have to go into these files and make a ton of changes just to make the game fun, right? Like we've already done it with spoilage. We've already done it. Well, that's a big fishing trawler. We've already done it with spoilage, and I get it. We've already done it, so why not just keep doing it? I get what people are arguing there, um, but they're just going to continue to make changes. Like here's the thing: they're going to make hunting suck soon. I guarantee it. They're going to make hunting suck, right? You hunt like 10 boar or bison, and all of a sudden they're extinct. Is probably what they're going to do, right? Because they like overshooting everything, right? Um, the problem with pollution is just not every job pollutes, right? So now all of a sudden nobody's going to want to take the jobs that pollute if there's like a daily limit on pollution. But if you don't do those jobs, then like look at this, like I don't even know whose oil setup this is, and there's nothing wrong with the way they have it set up. But I just drive by this now and I just think, oh, that's going to be so much pollution, right? And then nothing against whoever that is. I mean, you can't drill oil and not pollute, right? It's it's just how it is. And I get it's supposed to force hard choices, but it's like it's a game you're playing with. And I know a lot of this group has been together for like 8 servers or 6 servers or 10 servers at this point. We know each other. We played other games together, but they're still strangers amongst us. There's been 120 people log into the server. I maybe what 40 of them are people that I know from previous runs, or probably half of them are people I've at least seen on previous runs. But I don't know most of these people, right? And it's not to say you're bad people or whatever. This does not pollute. You cannot get pollutant information from a campfire. So trying to play a game where you got to jump through these hoops and you got to do all these things, like the level of collaboration they expect with strangers. It's just, I don't know. And Wired, maybe they will add a difficulty option, right? That makes it more freeform. And again, like, here's the thing, like this server, um, like this particular server, it took me, the patch came out on Tuesday. So I created the world that day, myself and 3 admins. I had 3 admins helping me. They did the building and also helped me test stuff. And, I bounced ideas off them. They came up with solutions for some of my problems and vice versa. But it took us 100 man hours between the four of us, at least, just to get the server playable, right? On what our group expects. To get the server to the level of what my players expect from past runs, it took us at least 100 man hours. Well, man and woman hours, if not more, probably more, honestly. Right? I'm being conservative, saying it between the four of us it was 100 hours jumping through their hoops to get the game where we want it to be. I don't want to have to do that every server, right? A punch. And I don't like, like some of my mins, they have jobs, they have lives. Like I can't, I don't pay these people. They actually pay me. Like my min team are all people that are my patrons. So they're paying me money, but they're also doing all this work for me. And I feel like I should be paying them, not the other way around, right? I guess I'm just sick of jumping through all these hoops that Strange Loop seems to be putting in front of me. Say, oh, you want your server to actually be fun? Here's another hoop you got to jump through. Here's another hoop you got to jump through, right? I mean, we're talking about pollution, but right now, Punch, I'm talking just more general, how I don't really feel like the direction that Strange Loop is going with the game matches my definition of fun. And again, it's just my definition of fun. Some people like, extra pollution, I'm sure, right? And that's fine. Like it's all subjective. Fun is subjective. But it's like there's a part of me that wants to say, okay, so that wants me to go through the list of players on the server and say, okay, this is somebody I know. This is somebody I like. Okay. And I want to just write down everybody I like and I know and just only invite them to a server. Right. But that's as a gamer, I want to do that. But this server is supposed to be for content and for bringing more people into my community. So I can't just invite only people we know, right, and trust. So with the pollution, all it takes is like one person or maybe two people to be a troll, and they'll ruin the whole world for everybody, right? I just don't want to give trolls that kind of power. Similar issues to public Minecraft servers, I would assume so. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a Minecraft guy myself, but yeah, that sounds about right, right? Anyway, and look, this is not my way of saying, oh, I'm done with eco after the server. And I mean, you never know, because as most of you know as well, like I've been trying to make full-time content creation a job for like last almost 3 years. Actually, it has been 3 years. It's been 3 years, and I don't make enough money to do it, right? So there's a very real chance I have to find a job soon. And like, if I'm working a job, do I want to come home and have to deal with this? Right? Not really. But I mean, I don't want to give up on this though, right? Like, so I don't know. Just hard choices. I got hard choices. But let's talk about pollution. I kind of pulled away from pollution. What's our best solution, do we think? For anybody who wasn't here for when I kind of went over the solutions, not yet, Punch, but I mean, it's going to be whenever oil drilling and stuff comes out tomorrow. I mean, it was high yesterday. It was high last night. Like, it was above zero. It was a positive number. Like, our CO2 was too high. It's fine now. Where's my boat? Daily pollution limit seems like the best thing. But again, it's going to slow everybody down. Honestly, it seems like the developers want it so that you can't play this game for like 8 or more hours a day. They want it to be, you play for 3-4 hours and that's it. Right? And Alexander said the daily aim is a good idea, but then it gives an unfair advantage to group players who already have an advantage, right? As well, how does it determine? So if I have a blast furnace, let's say I'm in a group, I'm in a blast furnace and I authorize somebody else on that blast furnace. Like, if the blast furnace is mine, I own it, but my friend is a smelter, right? And I authorize them and they use my blast furnace. Who is generating the pollution? Me or my friend? Right? Oh, I don't know. I'm sure we could find out, but it's just potentially it's a way for groups to get around it, right? But yeah, I don't know. But it seems to me the developers don't want they want people to only play for a few hours a day. So I don't know. I just feel like if people really want to, they'd get around that law. Um, Alternative, like I said, we could just watch the pollution, and if we have to, I did not realize I had a bunch of bison in here. And oh my god, my diet is carb heavy. I'm on the Atkins diet, folks. You're the one trying to relax people. I was starting to get panic yesterday, but I have so small PC now on holidays, so that's the wrong number. And no, it was getting bad last night, Punch. Like, yeah, like Kitty said, they had that exhaustion limit that most servers ignore. To me, they want, like I said, the developers want people to not be able to play for 8+ hours a day, or 6+ hours a day, even, or more than 4 hours a day. Um, Kevin says you can have a pollution currency, and when you pollute, it draws down from your pollution currency. We can have a cap and trade economy and sell to polluters. I mean, that kind of goes back to my other point, though. Like, that seems like a lot of work, right? And like, it just seems like a lot of work. And I'm kind of getting sick of having to do all this work to jump through hoops that Strange Loop is putting in front of me just to make the server fun, make the server work. And one other thing I haven't really brought up yet is if we just say, okay, we're not going to put a law in place, but everybody keep an eye on pollution, and when it gets high, just stop polluting. The problem with that, and we found this at last server, if you do that, is certain times a day there's going to be more pollution, right? Like early evening, early mid evening, my time. People from Europe are still on. It's getting close to their bedtime, but it's not quite there yet. And people from America are getting off work and they're logging in, right? So those there's like 3 hours. It's like between 6 and 9 for me. It's going to be different for everybody else. That the server's busier, even 6 to 10, you could argue, I guess. The problem is there's people that work during the day or what it forever. They can't be on during the day. They come on in the evening. They sit down in front of the computer. They load up Eco. They haven't played all day. They haven't caused any pollution all day. And then all of a sudden, me or one of the admins is like, pollution is high, stop polluting. And they're like, oh, well, I only have 2 hours to play tonight. Now I can't play because other people have been polluting all day, right? And that's kind of what we did last server, and that turned some people off big time. And I completely understand why they'd be turned off by that, right? Which is why a pollution cap per day seems like a better idea. But the more I think about it, the more it seems there's just going to be ways around it, right? All right, I'm going to go on a little boat trip here. I'm going to go see the canal. What are you saying, Punch? We was up, but you thought we were at 342, so we had to shut down. Oh, so we weren't. Gluten per person and per machine. I would have to go to the court and check the actual check in the court to see if that's possible. It might be wired. It might be. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say probably not per machine. Raider is voting for just change the settings in the file. Now, are you when you say change the settings in the file? Even because even then there's still options. Hey, Sarah. Um, and again, as people come in, I don't want to repeat the whole spiel every time somebody new comes into the stream, but I will kind of circle back around later. We're talking about pollution right now, Sarah. Um, the file settings. Do I just go in and just turn a couple of those booleans to false, and so then we don't have to worry about it, or do I just slightly raise one of the variables so potentially we can still pollute? It's just a little easier, like what Punch just said. Increase the plant value from 500 to 800, or 600, 700, or 1,000, or whatever, rather than just completely turning it off, is an option, right? Yeah, I'm going to the canal. I want to go see the canal. I want to focus on a positive. Saban Darkstorm has, with all the bugginess of sea level rise, currently with the deep ocean stuff, I vote we remove that option. Other sewers. Oh, so there's a bug around it about it too. Change plant value to 1,000. Although at that point, it's basically we probably. I don't know. Would that be equivalent? That would be pretty close to equivalent to shutting it off. Oh, if sea level rises, the sea all becomes deep ocean, so you can't build over it. Although, if that was the case, I would just turn off the can't build over sea rise thing or over deep ocean thing, right? That would solve that. Yeah, clearly, sometime between like my 11th and 12th server, they changed pollution. But again, it's just, oh, there's a canal. Whose property is this? Like, look at this. This is literally like on the water, right? Sea level rise would just completely screw this person over, right? I don't want that. I don't want to screw Bori over, right? Imagine that strange loop not fixing bugs. Who would have thunk it? Um, yeah, Bori's got a nice view. Beautiful house on the water. Nice view. All right, so the canal. Who built the canal? I know this property belongs to El Tozo, so I'm going to go ahead and give El Tozo credit, right? But who else? Who helped El Tozo build this canal? Because I want to give credit where it's due. Ooh, are we going to put a? Are you going to make a bridge over it too? Raider. Oh, Raider. Okay, Raider gets credit then. Yeah, all the ship. Well, shipwrights have to be on the water. The medium shipyard literally has to be built next to water, right? And yes, and that's the other thing. Water physics are so wonky that if water rises, things are going to get funky with random water source blocks and all that, right? So that's the other problem. Nice little canal here. Nice smooth water. Beautiful. Oh, is that what it was, Punch? That changed? So I can't. I don't have a steam truck, so I can't see. So basically, it used to be. So that number we want to be negative, that CO2 thing. No, Red. Use them for shoulders. Like the way you want the road is shoulder of 2 stone roads, then 5 asphalt, and then 1 stone in the middle, then 5 asphalt, and 2 stone roads. So that will allow you to reuse any stone roads that you're pulling up to use for asphalt, is the way we typically do it. Hey, Ryan, thank you very much for the donation. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I'm sorry that this stream is mostly me just, lamenting game changes. Probably not the most exciting content. Whose place is this? Oh, then here's Altozo. Well, it's no wonder he wanted the canal built because he lives right next to it. And it's no wonder he built it there. Um, and yes, if you're confused about what I mean about the 2 roads, 5 asphalt, etc., there's pictures on the Discord. Actually, should I pin one of those pictures, Andra? Probably should pin one. Probably should have pinned one earlier. I didn't even think of it. See, I know you posted the picture more than once. Yeah, Altozo's been playing since server 5. He might have missed 1 or 2, but he's been around for a while. All right, where's my house? Going around the world, folks. Remind me to end the stream to pin that, Sandra. Or do you have ability to pin stuff? I don't think so. You might, but I don't think you do. Right, well, I'm at the Rainforest Island. Let's check out what we got going on over here. Pull in here. All right. This is Skull's place, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, these damn steam engines. Well, that's another thing. They made pollution even worse this run. Basically. Right. Yeah, so I want to state for the record, this was built by Kitty during the this is a government store. So Kitty built this before the server started using admin commands, right? Like these shipping containers, they exist, but you can't build them yet. They have to be spawned in with an admin command. And obviously, like these cranes would be super expensive to use strictly as a decoration in a build usually, but it's a great, I mean, it's still a really great creative build, but I just want to explain. Yeah. Yeah. So they changed power generation. So they made the really early game stuff like the Arastra. They made the Arastra use less power, right? But they also nerfed how much power the windmill and water wheel gave. So early game is fine. It's the same. But when you get into the higher level stuff that still need mechanical power, they made this thing do mechanical power instead of electrical. But so now you need steam engines earlier. You can't use windmills and water wheels anymore. So they basically nerfed green power pre-wind turbine, right? They made it worse pre-wind turbine. So that's not going to help with the pollution either. Behind the shipyard is your tier 1 house. Hey, you've seen my tier 1 house. I'm just going to get something to eat here. All I have is pies with me. Oh, why do I have 74 raw meat in my canoe? Or excuse me, in my boat. I don't know. Whatever. We'll deal with that later. That's a good looking pie, though, I got to say. All right. So let's go over here. Whose is this anyway? I don't even know whose land this is. Camp Blood Moon. This is Skull's. So this is also Skull. So that's Skull's place, but this is Skull's as well. Hey, Bluebell, how are you doing today? Well, this tree is interfering with your build, Skull, if you're watching. All right, we got through. We made it. Sandra's telling me to wait. All right, so this is obviously a work in progress. That may be the platform. What? Sorry, Zan. Oh. Okay, well, still obviously work in progress. Sorry. Yeah. I will not come back there until later. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Sorry. Yes, and like that's the thing, Saban. Like, and again, I'm not saying their vision is wrong. I'm just saying it doesn't match my definition of fun, right? Like, video games for me in my life. Look at that sunset. That is a nice sunset. Like to most people, video games are supposed to be a fun diversion from the crappiness of real life, right? Hey, Rico, come through with some of those Norwegian currencies. Thank you very much for the donation, Rico. Rico. I know it's Richard is Rico in game, for anybody who doesn't know. So yeah, people play video games because they don't want to deal with the crap that they have to deal with at their jobs in real life. But having to come in and like collaborate with 100 different people or more, many of which you might not even speak the same language as them, right? And you're expected to like come together and not ruin each other's fun. It's incredibly difficult, right? And people don't want to deal with that after a hard day at their normal job, right? Like people just want to have fun. But yes, I want everyone to have fun. That's my main goal with these. Ooh, this is nice. Eco is a second job you have to pay to do. That's what they're turning it into, right? This is a nice house. I like this. Not trying to throw shade at this one because this one looks exactly like something I would build, right? I'm not criticizing, but this is a cool house. Oh yeah, look at this little balcony. Just people like, hey, Bluebell, you and I have the same signature build. If I'm being honest, right? So I feel you. I feel you. The classic Lucera box. The big difference between you and me, Bluebell, is you go with empty space for your windows, and I throw in actual windows. That's it. That's the only difference between you and I, right? Yeah, like Raider said, right now Eco feels like a job. And like, I mean, it literally is my job. And I try to do a good job too. Like I might make a video of how much money I make doing this. But right now, between Patreon and ad revenue and donations, I make like between $700 and $900 a month. Right? Roughly. A month. Canadian dollars. And that's mostly from Patreon. And the vast majority of my patrons are people that are primarily interested in the eco servers, right? So basically, my job right now is to host eco servers and make the occasional let's play on the side, right? Like that's my job. So it's basically my full-time job. And then I have 3 admins. Well, there's more than 3 admins, but there's 3 admins that are playing this run, right? That help me, and it's still like a, so it's like a job for them, and I try to do the hard decisions so they don't have to, right? But they're always, pointing things out for me and just helping me out in general, like cleaning out government stores. Like, I don't know, maybe people just aren't using government stores this run, but I cleaned out 1 government store this run so far. That's it. I zapped 2 stockpiles. That's it. So this is the town foundation for this island. All right, who else lives here? You've cleaned them. All right, well, and thank you for that. You use the government store multiple times. Oh, yeah, so people are using them. That's the ramp to your farm. Oh yeah, that's farm. Yeah, I'm sorry I built this thing right where your farm was gonna be. Yeah. So yeah, and the farmers. Oh, I should mention for the farmers. Um, Yesterday I took away the extra claim token income that you got. You just get the same amount of claim tokens as everybody else now for the farmers. And also, I changed the growth rate variable. Originally, we had it at one, or originally we had it at 1.2, right? It defaults to one. I turned that up to 1.5. I turned it back down to 1.2 today. That will not go into effect until the server restarts at 10, or if it happens to restart for any other reason between before. When I say 10, I mean tonight's restart. It's 10 o'clock my local time, but I can almost guarantee, unless Phil or Ishmael are in the chat, I can almost guarantee that it's not 10 o'clock for anybody else because I live in a weird time zone that very few people live in. Um, and that being the Atlantic time zone that Eastern Canadians and I believe some Brazilians live in, and that's about it in the entire world. it's literally it's literally Eastern Canada, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI, and parts of Brazil. And I think that's it. Maybe parts of Argentina. Someone asked on the Discord. Consider for next server not having the road be so wide. It's taking a lot of resources and would be complete if people weren't filling out a double section before the rest is filled out. I can't win with the roads. I went with narrower roads last server, and people were like, "No, I want wider roads." um, it's one of those things, yeah, where we can't win. Um, it's taking a lot of resources. I mean, there's way less roads this run as well, or way less road districts, right? Like I don't know, is it really eating up that much? Kitty's not suggesting that. Kitty's copy and pasting a suggestion from Discord. I know Kitty likes the wider roads. I'll think about it, but no, they're probably going to stay this wide. And hey, look, if anybody wants a road added, ask me. DM me on Discord or put it in the Eco Government channel on Discord. Like, take a screenshot, get an MS Paint and just draw a line where you want the road, right? Chances are I will do it. There is a chance that I won't do it. If there's a good reason for me to not to do it, I won't. But yeah, like with the boats, I got to keep some road districts though, right? Otherwise, the basic engineers are going to be like have nothing to do, like Punch just said, right? Kitty likes how the roads are this run. Yeah. But I made a couple I made a couple driveways, just 5 wide roads for people's driveways. But yeah. Yeah, no, I fully realize, I guess I could have made some more driveways here. I fully realize that roads are, no matter what I do, somebody's going to dislike it. Is what it is. Yeah, I added your little one you asked for. Yeah, move your canoe out of the way would be good too. Marcos, no. So the thing is, yeah, you reuse the road. So can you repost that picture in Discord, Xandra? Like right now, and I'll. Okay, you just did, or Kitty just did. So I'm gonna pin it. So if you go into the Discord right now, Kitty just posted a picture of the road. So basically, it's 15 wide, right? So what you do, you start with which hand do I want to use? You start with a 2 wide shoulder, and then a 5 of stone road, and then 5 wide asphalt road, and then 1 single stone road in the middle, then another 5 wide asphalt road, and then another 2 wide stone road shoulder. So that allows you to reuse any stone roads that you have to pick up while you're upgrading to asphalt. It's also why we have the two different colors of stone of road. So basically, the darker purple or the thinner purple, whatever you want to. So early on, you only get paid for the thin purple. So that during the stone road era, people just made a 5 wide stone road, right? And then later, once asphalt came out, it's expanded to the 15 wide. That way, chances are all the roads would only be 5 wide, and you can reuse 5 stone roads, right? That's this government store. Yeah, yeah. The desert has some good roads. Like right here is good road, but it's and here's a good road, but it's very inconsistent. The quality of roads on this continent for sure. But yeah. Um, all right, so this is somebody's property. This is necrophiliac's property. I don't know if I've seen Necro around lately. We have shown his stuff off before, but this is a large build for an early game build, right? It uses a lot of different materials. There's more stone, more sandstone. There's lumber. Oh, that's lumber. That's not even, this is hewn. That's lumber, right? Then there's more limestone for the floor and up there. That's pretty good. But yeah, Katie, I'll answer that person specifically if they're not here. Yeah, so here's a medium shipyard for a shipbuilder. It literally needs this end of it needs to be in the water. Um, so kind of it makes it hard. It makes it hard for some jobs to not be near the water. And I mean, so much stuff like blast furnace and stuff needs water, right? So you want to build next near water with them. Hey, alligators aren't extinct yet, apparently, for a change. Oh, looks like somebody got something started here, but didn't really finish it. Well, Fox Guild. I don't know who Fox Guild is. I don't think they're somebody who's played on my servers before. And they might have. They might have like randomly played on like server 6, and I just don't remember. My memory is not what it used to be. And oh yeah, I forgot how they changed Sleepy Boy's place, how they changed this sawmill. So much bigger than it used to be. And for the record, when people tell you to clean up your like debris and stuff, leaving a couple stumps on your property to make sure the trees don't regrow is fine. This is fine, right? We need more advanced smelters, but I mean, you might not want to do that. Ooh, whose place is this? Textiles. Oh, this is Picasso de Gallo's place. One of our tailors. This is a nice house. I don't know if I've been up this way before. Not lately, anyway. Oh, he's looks like Sleepy Boy's changing stuff over to lumber. Yeah, that is a lot of curtains. You're going to save your skill point for advanced masonry, and that is fine, Lyle. People can do. Ultimately, when people ask what job to take, I always just say, do what's fun, do what you want, and it's fine to want to fill a gap, but the problem is sometimes people will ask me, "Oh, what do we need? What do we need? My next star's tomorrow. What do we need?" And I'll say something that we need, but because I say it on stream and 100 people see it, by the time that person gets their star, it might not really be needed anymore, and then I feel bad, right? Um, so it's tricky. All right, Stormhorn. Whose house is this? Argentius. Argentius? Argentius? Ava's got wood. Man, these signs are big. These new signs. But yeah, mining and smelting and advanced smelting kind of suck this time. I think the coal. I think the coal is the issue for the advanced smelters. Like people don't realize, like essentially you need like double the coal that you used to need, right, to make steel. And coal was already the worst part of it. Just sawmill in the middle of someone's living room. I'm sorry, I laughed. Yeah, so making steel, I gotta assume kind of sucks now. Honestly, I kind of am glad I'm not doing it. Like just being real, I think it would kind of suck now, right? Because well, here I'll just look at it. So I'm gonna explain why, in case anybody doesn't know why it sucks now. Advanced smelting. Steel bar. So steel bar uses 2 iron bars, 1 quicklime, 1 crushed coal. Also, they don't make their own quicklime anymore, right? Um, I don't know how. I mean, but maybe there's lots of quicklime and that's not a problem, or charcoal. But I have no idea how. Put it this way: using charcoal to make steel in the past was a terrible idea, and it's probably fine now. But yeah, so to make crushed coal, for example, at the stamp mill, it takes 20 to make 4, right? So it's 5 to 1, right? So it's like it used to just be 2 coal, right? And now it's down to it's only 1 crushed, but 1 crushed is 5 coal, right? So it's double. It's more than double the amount of coal, right? Basically. Now I don't know if an AU brings this down. Well, Stefan, can you? Which of these come down with AUs? Any of them? Do any of them come down with AUs? I know this one probably does. Didn't it used to be 1 iron bar? Is it also more iron? So iron bar comes down to 1, but the quicklime and crushed coal don't. Man, that would suck. Just being honest, that would suck. Wait, iron bar, quicklime, and crushed locked. So do they have a green border or a yellow border? Here, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna just give me a sec. Rather than ask, I can just check. Oh, well, it helps if you spell right, Luch. Iron bars are green. Okay, so that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So for anybody who doesn't know, oh, I guess I can't. If it has this yellow bar, yellow border, sorry. So if I was an advanced smelter, this would have a green border. That means that an upgrade, an advanced upgrade, will bring it this how much is needed down. The yellow border means it does not bring it down. So yeah, you basically need 2.5 times more coal than you used to need. So you used to need 2, but basically you need 5. You need 5 coal to make 1 crushed. Can you use? Oh, you can. So charcoal steel, okay. It's 2 char or 2 charcoal. Charcoal is going for 0.6. And charcoal is usually not available in abundance. That is not good. That is not. Yeah, I can see why there's not much steel on the market. Little smooth gut noodle roll. That's not going to help my carbs any. Well, and the problem is, though, Punch, it needs to be crushed still, right? A miner would have to buy it and crush it and resell it. And I don't know if any miner is going to take the time to do that, right? Like, and maybe they would. I don't know. Like, I shouldn't speak for the miners, but yeah, farming coal in your free time probably give you a good idea. Alligators are definitely not dead. What is going on over here? Tower of mixed crushed rock. Yeah, just sell this. Any of the smelters that are also miners can just do it that way. Would be. Whose property is this? Oh, Hood. This is Hood. Oh, okay. This is not their main property though, or it's not Hood's main property. Looks like Hood's messing around with water physics. Eco water physics for the win, folks. Yeah, no, the new ore generator, it's not good. Look, making things more difficult is not necessarily a bad thing. But like, I don't know. I know it's an early access game and things are going to change. I get it. What is this? Okay. Things are going to change, but I feel like they just so many of their changes are, in my opinion, not good changes, right? And like I've been playing this game for 2.5 years. I'm 2,000 hours. You get used to certain things, right? That sneeze almost knocked my headphones off. And I don't want to be like old man yells at clouds. Oh, I hate change. Change is fine. It's just their changes aren't all good. Anyway, this is rapidly turning into me complaining about the eco devs again. And for anybody who's curious why I didn't apply for the eco content creator program, this is why. Because I don't know if they would let me stay in if I just constantly complained about the devs. Yeah, this is Goody's house. I don't think Goody's played a whole lot lately, but Goody's played on a lot of my servers, and he's a very talented builder. No, Gonstack. Although iron isn't too bad. It's not too hard to find iron. In my opinion, other people might disagree with me. But copper's miserable. Like, especially in the early game where in order to get to a new little tiny vein of copper, you have to dig through granite and basalt. And, if you only got like an iron tool, that sucks, right? So yeah, no, they changed it. I don't know how gold's gonna be once electronics comes out. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of gold. I don't know if other people have. But yeah, so iron, it still spawns primarily in the desert, Gonstack, but it's in like chunks. It's not just a consistent layer, right? It's chunk here, chunk here. From what I've seen, the iron chunks are still a pretty decent size. So it's not too bad, but it is still worse, right? It is still harder. But copper and gold, and I don't know about coal. I haven't dug up any coal yet, so I can't really talk. But I need to blow my nose, so I'll be right back. Sorry about that. The golden cube, yeah. For anybody who doesn't know what Gonstack referencing, like way back in server 3, 4, server 4, no 3, no it was 3. Um, which we had a much smaller player base than we have now, and we only had a couple of smelters, one of which was me. At one point, I was like the only advanced smelter. Gonstack jumped in and kind of saved my sanity by also being a smelter, an advanced smelter. And he had like, what was it, like multiple large lumber stockpiles full of gold, was it? Iron is just hit or miss. Sometimes you come across crystal-like nodes that are, yeah. Like I've gotten lucky. I've hit some pretty. This is E. Simone's place for anybody who's curious, but I do like. Look, I've complained about a lot of the changes, but these new blocks, for example, are great. These are great. Extra tier 1 building options, always a good thing, right? I'm not saying that everything they do is bad, Strange Loop bad. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just think that it's not enough of their changes are good. Too many of them are negative. Yeah, I've gotten pretty lucky with iron. Now, I haven't mined any iron in like 3 days, but early game there, when we were really short of iron, I kind of jumped in and just kind of helped. Tried to do my part to help with the shortage. Whose property is this? Baragali's property. They are a new player, just joined recently, I believe. I don't even know what jobs they have. Bargali is a farmer, gatherer, and miner. Okay. Few different jobs there. And this is their property proper. I don't think I've ever seen anybody put their tent inside. I kind of dig it though. Okay. You can just pick this up. You don't need to have this inside, Bargali, if you're watching. But maybe you're doing it for the aesthetics. I don't know. So I don't want to. I'm not trying to crap on it. Yeah, what were we talking about? I don't know. And then we reach Calvary's place. I should have known by the fishing trawler there. Tiki Island, some nice docks. And again, like, if the water level rises, it's not going to be good, right? Like, for example, here's an example. Stamp mill and Arasha. That's it, right? You used to be able to power this with just, water wheels and windmills. That's it. You wouldn't need, but now you need a steam engine. I don't know. Anyway, ooh, what's this? Who lives here? Shadowman 67. Shadowman is what? Logger, a carpenter, and a campfire cook. Okay. I do like the mortared sandstone mixed with the normal mortared stone, like for the windows and the corners, just for accents. I dig that. This is a pretty big little house. It's a pretty big little house. It's a good size house. What I'm trying to say. And then we come down here. Wait, is this still Shadow Man's property? All right, Shadow Man been busy. The steam engines are hard on pollution. What about the combustion engines? How bad are they? And another dock that would be completely buried if water level rose, right? Like, studio. Oh, I see an easel. Oh, can I get in from over here? No. Oh, I can look. Oh, there is art. Merry Christmas, everyone. I can see it in that painting. Yeah, anyway, so pollution again. Now that there's 32 people watching. When I initially talked about pollution, there was only like half that many people. So I'm briefly going to talk about pollution again. I'm going to get back to my steam truck though before I do that. I think one of these boats is mine, right? Nope. Oh, let's play a game of. Oh no, I left my boot. My Canadian is coming out. I left my boot. I left my boat at the government store. And yes, remember to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Helps me out a lot as a small little YouTuber. Oh, there's only 2 combustion engines in game? Okay. They're electric power, right? But yeah, there's going to be a ton of them very soon, right? Because they're going to be needed. I'm assuming They're going to be needed for oil. They're going to be needed for the composites table. They're going to be needed for the advanced mason table, right? Like, all right, where is the quickest way to my truck? Oh, my truck could not be farther away. My truck is right here. This way, but this way says, well, I can go through the canal again. It's hard to tell the impact on pollution when three steam engines are rolling with them. I'm assuming it's going to be worse. So, what do the combustion engines run on? Right? Like, what type of power do you need or what type of fuel do you need? Do they run on coal as well? They must, right? Because they couldn't run on oil because you would need them to make oil, right? Like, oh, well, now I'm curious. Now I'm curious. I'm assuming mechanics make those. Combustion generator. 2.3 parts per million of air pollution when running. There are 5 combustion generators in the world, Kitty. Um, uh, it consumes electric power. Doesn't say what it needs for fuel, though, right? They do run on coal. Okay, thank you. They produce less pollution, but not a lot less per power. Oh, compared to the other engine. You're saying the steam engine, right? Um, steam engine is steam engine's a little bit more pollution, assuming they're running constantly, right? Yeah, still but it's not really a comparison because one makes mechanical power, one runs electrical. It's not like you can replace a steam engine with electric unless did they make power backwards compatible finally? Because it didn't used to be. Like you couldn't use electric power for mechanical. And maybe you can now. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what they all changed. Since another pet peeve of mine. They didn't actually like their big patch, update 10. As far as I know, they never released full patch notes. Right? That's a pet peeve of mine. I understand there's a lot, but surely someone kept track of everything. Right? And yes, when electronics comes out, need wind turbines. Do whatever you can to get to level 5 electronics because that's what you need to make wind turbines. But you need to focus on wind turbines once you hit level 5, or we're going to be in danger. Yeah, but I mean, I get what you're saying, Stefan, but would the skid steer not help to get to the next patch, though? You know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, Merry Christmas, Devil Dance. I mean, Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah, so there is 5, Kitty, but I have no idea how much they're actually running. They might just be, set up for the future for like oil drilling or whatever. Um, I don't know. But what I do know is I need a quick AFK. I will be back in a minute. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. All right, so um, I'm just gonna check chat here, see what I missed. Get seriously more of use quick firming of stone. Punch has an idea. Patch change levels so much, you'll be digging way more just to make it change levels. It's true. Punch down to wind farm 2.0, and I need to find an even bigger spot. Well, that'd be helpful, Punch. How do we get power lines across the water? That's the other problem. We kind of can't. Um, well, that's not true. We probably could. We'll talk about this. But what we need is we need like 3 different wind farms. Really, right? Um, you need to do it by hand, 3 shovelfuls at a time. Have fun with that by yourself, Punch. Mining thing by hand, it's finishing mining my basement. I've been neglecting, yeah. So technically speaking, assuming we don't make the water rise, you could run power like cross here, then to here, then to here, then up to my island, then rainforest. Even with the no deep ocean building rule, we can technically join the 3 continents, but it's got to be in a very specific way, right? But and this is a conversation we are going to have. Oh, I hate how this thing gets caught up and stuff. I always think I'm good, and then it gets the little paddle wheel gets caught. And again, I want to apologize for the quality of my voice. I got this cold that just won't go away. And yeah, maybe it's COVID. I don't know. Hey, Krogsgard. It's not a bad cold. It's not keeping me from doing stuff, but it's just annoying. It's just always there. But yeah, just this whole run. And I mean, it's partially because holidays and people's play times have been inconsistent and lower than normal. But this whole run has felt like there's always multiple things that we're short on at any point in time, right? Early on was food, then it was iron, then it was copper, and then it was and clay was we were short on. Now it's steel, right? Like it's constantly something we're fighting with. Right? I guess I could park here. Now I'll go around to my normal docking spot. Xander's backyard, where I usually dock the ship. So I'm going to go to my truck. I'm going to talk about pollution a bit again. Yay, more pollution talk. Who's excited? I'm going to keep it brief. Yeah, I think I might put a poll in the Discord as to what we do. Yeah, I pretty much run right by our shop. I can definitely take a look, Katie, while I'm running by. No, my Christmas drinks did not kill all the cold germs, unfortunately. Yeah, I haven't been, well, Christmas night I was feeling pretty good. But I've had at least a couple of drinks every night in the last 4 nights since my sister got home anyway. Probably none tonight. I need a night with no drinks. But no, I wish they would have killed my cold germs, but unfortunately, they have not. Ooh, do I want to? Let's see what Xander's got for food here. I need something that's low carbs. I need papooses. Does anybody have any papooses for sale? Probably not. Papooses are pretty rare usually. And they're also expensive AF typically because the cheese is expensive AF. Yeah, $14.69. Oh, Punch has some papooses. Punch has all stuff. All right. Well, I will go down to Punches here at some point. All right, so let's check out Kitty's shop. Ooh, we got some brick happening. Oh, I know you're not slacking, Punch. Ooh, we got some paintings. No. Oh, so this one's from this run. That one's not. That's not. Most of these, yeah. So these are mostly screenshots from old runs, right? Punch or Kitty. That was the last run when we had the scavenger hunt or the Kitty hide and seek, I guess. Well, it was kind of a scavenger hunt. Anyway, who's that? Nor with the outside look. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm looking. I'm looking. Damo, smoking Damo. Chimney Kitty. Oh, that's Xander's government store from like server 10, I think. Right? Nice. All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna hop in my Steam truck. I'm gonna drive over to Punches. Wait, can I drive to Punches? Yeah. Buy some papooses. Talk about pollution a little bit. As much as I don't want to talk about pollution, kind of need to talk about pollution. Again, I know I talked about it before, but there's a whole bunch of people that weren't in the stream earlier. But I think ultimately I'm going to make a poll. Which solution do people think we should do? Because I don't know. None of them are good. None of the solutions are good, in my opinion. Sandra's probably working while she watches Punch, would be my assumption. Wait, did I turn too early? No, this is the right place. So yeah, the road these roads are kind of all over the place. But yeah, this is what the roads are supposed to look like. Two shoulder, five wide, one in the middle, five wide, two shoulder. Right? Just so you can see it in action, folks. That's what it's supposed to look like. Lesser of five evils. I agree. Nice bridge. Mini spot. Oh, I like how the water wheels. I'm gonna assume it's not a functional water wheel. It's kind of funny how it's there though. Random stop sign in the middle of the road. Oh, is it? I didn't even notice. Oh, starting to chug a little bit. Performance starting to get bad. Hashmaker, doc, TT, text speech. I don't know. When I see TTS, that's what I think. I think text to speech. I'm assuming that's not what they were going for there. And that's okay. Whose spot is this? Oh, it's Ashmaker's spot. What did I think? I thought Ashmaker was further south. Evidently, I was mistaken. All right, let's get ourselves some papooses here. And yes, I realize the roads don't need to be this wide, but anyway, I don't want to go over that. That's a discussion we can have, but I don't want to have it right this second. We kind of already talked about it. There's good reasons for the roads to be as wide as they are. I'll just say that and leave it at that for now. There we go. That's a little bit. It's a little better balance. We're still really carb heavy, but I mean, papoose is the perfect food for us right now. All right, so let's briefly talk pollution again and our potential solutions. So this number right here, this is the sum of these three numbers, basically. If it goes positive, this number starts creeping up. If this number goes over 340, temperature change happens, farmers will have to move their fields. If it gets over 420, sea level rises, and then we're screwed. The server's like done. I'll check your harbor in a sec, Punch. Oh, he didn't mean why are they 15 wide? Oh, okay. You mean the question that Katie copy and pasted? Anyway, um, so we need to, because last server I had, water sea level rose. It wasn't good. Temperature changed. Wasn't good. So I'm basically going to put up a poll in the Discord about the potential solutions slash workarounds that we can possibly have for pollution. So the first one is we don't do anything. If the bad things happen, the bad things happen. I'm hoping that that's not what people vote on. Oh, I like the little back deck punch. Yeah, this is well, you know, Punch. Bighorn Steakhouse. Punch's Harbor Steakhouse. Work in progress, Obvi. Obvi. So yeah, so the first option will be do nothing. The second option is watch it, you know, ask people to turn off their equipment. I mean, it could, but there's so many places that would need retaining walls. And you know, you might build them and then it not happen. Like, but I mean, retaining walls aren't going to help with all the docks, right? Like a lot of people have built with the intention of not needing retaining walls. But you still get temperature change. All the farmers will have to move their fields. And if sea level rises once and we don't do anything about it, it'll rise again and again and again until. And also, whenever sea level rises, everything becomes deep ocean. You can't build over it, right? So anyway, the next solution would be like watch the pollution level, and when it gets high, just ask people to shut off their stuff, which is basically what we did last run. Similarly to that, we could do a watch pollution, and if it gets high, I or one of the other admins just enact a law that prevents pollution for a few hours, and we take that off. No, plant more trees doesn't help. I'll explain why. Here, I'll go back to my truck so I can explain why. In theory, that would help, right? You would think. Adam suggested plant more trees, but that's not the way they simulate things in this game, unfortunately. I know you're coming up with solutions in case water level rises, Lyle, but we do not want to get to that point. If it's to, I'll tell you right now, if the sea level rises again and temperature changes, the server's gonna be dead from inactivity because people aren't gonna want to deal with it. I'm just saying. So the reason why plant more trees doesn't work is this so the plants pull out 500 parts per million per day of carbon, of CO2. This is capped. 500 is the cap. It can't go any higher. So planting more trees won't have any effect. Unfortunately. Right? So that's the thing. Why is this artificial cap in here? Should we not get all the value of every tree? And this is also why I don't care when people cut down old growth redwoods, because it doesn't matter. People are always like, oh, but they remove pollution. It's like, it doesn't matter because you're capped. You're always at cap. Like, I don't know how many plants. I'm sure if you cut down every single tree in the world, it would matter. Like, this number would not be minus 500 anymore. I guess. So, yeah. And also animals is capped at 25. So those kind of balance each other out, I guess. It is what it is. I don't know. That's the thing about that bothers me, I think, with a lot of the changes is, oh, well, that little symbol down by my face generally means I'm getting disconnected from the server. No? Okay, apparently. Everything is like half done. Everything's half baked in the game, right? Like nothing is fully fleshed out. Nothing. So one of the other options for dealing with pollution would be to put in a law that limits people to like X amount of pollution per day. The problem with this, in theory, this seems like the best solution, right? But the fear is groups of people can work around it. So it just screws over people that are playing by themselves even more. They were already at a disadvantage. It'll put them at an even bigger disadvantage. Oh, well, the logger level 7 perk still doesn't do anything for minutes. No, that's like kind of a running joke, a meme at this point. And of course, the last solution for pollution, the pollution solution, would be, well, and I'm kind of coming around to this one, is going into the files and changing some variables. We could just make pollution not matter with like just change a couple trues to false, and then pollution doesn't matter anymore. We could do that. Or alternatively, we could change this number. I could change this number so that we actually get credit for all our trees. Maybe we should just do that, right? It's just, I mean, the whole world, like, look how much of the world is on a coast. Retaining walls aren't really an option. They're just not. It's, I mean, I'll put it in the poll, I guess, but it's not really an option. Too much of this, you know, yeah, no, it's, no. It's not an option. And yeah, because if we get to the point where water's rising, then the temperature's already changed probably multiple degrees. And then farmers are scrambling, and the farmers are going to get frustrated and quit, and then there's going to be no food, and then nobody's going to play. Right? It's just the spiral. I mean, we got through it last server. Water rose once, and then we became very cognizant of how much pollution we were making. But honestly, once water level rose once, and enough people stopped playing because pollution was being policed and or, you know, their stuff get buried underwater, that pollution was no longer an issue, and then we were fine. Right? That's not a good thing. Like, I don't say that like it's a good thing, because that meant a bunch of people stopped playing. Right? Like, last server was really good until that happened, and then it was very low player count. Yeah, we should get credit for the trees. I wonder how high. Like, this is the cap, right? Well, that's the thing. Is this a cap or is it an absolute value? You know what I mean? Like, I want to get credit for all of our trees. I want to get credit for every tree we have. I don't want it to be capped. So I'm just checking the actual variable. I want to see. Yeah, it's min CO2 per day from plants. So it's a cap. I mean, to be fair, the animal number is capped as well, Kitty, but it's so small, right? See, look at this. We're at negative 29 now. We're almost at a positive number, right? Initially, my instinct was not to do the cap, right? But the more I think about it, the more I think that's the best solution. Oh, I want to go check out. Yeah, let's get in my truck. If I don't get in my truck, I'm going to forget it, and I'm going to be like, where's my truck? All right, see you in a bit, Xandra. The game is not running real well right now. Just a sec, I want to do something before it's too late. Change cap, and we can go on a community tree. But the thing is, if we raise the cap, honestly, I don't even think we would have to. Oh my god, I just spit everywhere. I don't even think we'd have to plant trees. I think we'd be fine with what we have, right? Like, yeah, well, I might have to close my game here. Should have done that when I went AFK. Like, look at this island. This island is still coated with trees. This continent still has a ton of trees, right? We're good for trees if we raise the cap, right? Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to close out of Eco and go back in, because it's clearly starting to perform poorly. And I do find too, if you travel a lot, like if you have to render a lot of the world, performance takes a big hit. If you mostly stick to your area around your house, you can play for a lot longer without performance issues. But if you travel a lot, like I have here, right? I've been literally around the entire world. Well, I guess pretty much. Yeah, the rainforest island is nothing but trees except for a few spots on the coast, right? All right, I'm just gonna hop back in here. Yeah, and like maybe I'll just raise the cap to like 800. Just again, I realize that I understand why the devs are doing what they're doing in this case, right? They want pollution to matter. I understand that. But the problem is they're not giving good green options, right? Um oh, I don't know how to change the counter back to 24 hours in real life. I don't think that's something I can do. Um like I understand they want pollution to matter, but like what they need to do like make the windmills and water wheels more expensive maybe, but make them, you know what I mean? Like the problem in the game right now is if you can get away with using green power, there's absolutely no reason not to, right? Because it's cheaper. Because you don't need to buy coal, you don't need to buy gas, right? Um, so it's like they need to so they felt like they needed to make green power worse because it was too good. But now, you know what I mean? It's hard to balance. Um, so yeah, so FYI, the if you look at the schedule for skills coming out that's pinned on the Discord, it says that electronics isn't supposed to come out until the 31st. It's going to come out on the 28th or whenever the research is done. And the reason why is so that we can get wind turbines ASAP. Otherwise, pollution, right? But if we deal with pollution in other ways, yeah, you know what? I'm still going to let electronics come out early. If this game is supposed to educate and provoke deep thought, all I'm getting from this is you can plant all the vegetation trees you want, but they have a cap on their effect. Yeah, so and that's the thing. Like, if they're trying to do a simulation, don't have it. Basically, the number of trees you have in the world does not matter in the current simulation, right? With three, I can't go back to school now. Punch, I'm old and dumb. I used to be smart. I'm not smart anymore. All right, so here's Thorgrim's place. I like bricks mixed with the mortar stone, but I'm pretty sure I showed this place fairly recently. It looks good. Looks good. The Wheat King. Thorgrim the Wheat King. Oh, there's 2 bison there. Headshot. Ooh, so somebody, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of hunting. I'm going to talk about hunting a little bit. Let me get back in my truck. Let me get into my boat. What's the quickest way back? Is there a road this way? Come on, guys. Really? Okay. Well, that tunnel is closed. Try not to do that, though. Like, I understand. Do it, but clean it up. Don't leave it there and log out, right? It hurts server performance. But Kitty, in theory, most of the stuff that you're using the Steam engine for, you won't anymore. Like, for example, the stamp mill, right? Once you get the jaw crusher, that uses electric power, so you don't need to use your stamp mill anymore. So therefore, you don't need to use your Steam engine to power your stamp mill anymore. You know what I mean? But you're right that there isn't a green power solution for the steam engine. You're 100% right. Just in theory, there should be less steam engine use once the electric stuff comes out. The problem is if we get electric stuff out with no wind turbines, right? And all of a sudden you have steam engines and combustion engines everywhere, or combustion generators, whatever you want to call them. That's going to be bad for us. Plus oil refineries. Oil refineries are bad polluters too, right? So yeah. Yeah, I mean the thing is, like if you're only doing rocks, an arrastra is just as efficient, it just takes longer, right? Now if you're crushing ores, you want the higher levels. But if you're just doing stones, like basic stones, you're fine with an arrastra. Yeah, you can get some money there. Yeah, if you're doing coal, um, let me make sure that coal is coal, steel bar, crushed coal. So this one is 6-1. That one's 5-1. That one's 4-1. Yeah, see, if you're doing coal, you're kind of wasting, right? Because it's less efficient. I'm not saying don't. I just want so you know it is less efficient. You get less crush for the same amount of coal, right? But I mean, the trade-off is less power, right? So half dozen of one, six of the other kind of thing, right? So yeah, so I wanted to talk about hunting a little bit because somebody asked me a question I think it was in-game chat yesterday about the perk that I took. So I just want to talk about that a little bit, but I want to go grab my old bow just so I can compare and kind of go from there. So I just want to explain why I took the perk I did. And it's one of those things, it's like mining with, Lucky Break and Sweeping Hands. There's no wrong choice. It's purely a preference thing. They're both good, right? I feel the same about the hunting perks. But yeah, all right. Do I even have an old bow? Or more specifically, do I have an old bow that's not broken? That one's almost broken. I had two bows. Where's the other? Oh, they're both almost broken. Oh, I got some wood. Whatchamacallits though. Whetstones. All right. How many arrows do I got? Do I have enough arrows? Yeah, I got all kinds of arrows. You don't like setting up the modern equipment personally? Never been a fan of most modern stuff. Katie likes the rustic things. Yeah, and that's fine. I'm just saying. I just wanted to make sure you were aware. Is all. Um, yeah, so let's go over to the main continent here. So one of the perks for hunting, you have two choices. Either your headshots do more damage, well, critical hits, which are all headshots in this game, I guess, or your bow acts like it's the bow tech one level higher. Um, the thing about that one though is, does anybody know, like, if I'm already like if I had the best bow, if I had the composite bow, does that perk do anything if I have the composite bow? All right, so a normal bow shooting a bison, I believe this will do 2 damage, right? If you have that perk, it'll do 2.4, right? So that's 20% extra damage, whether it's a headshot or a normal shot, right? So but also the arrow has a different flight path, right? So look at the flight path. and then look at the bow's flight path. The go straighter for much longer, right? It's much more of a loop with the bow. So it does, so that the perk that I don't have that perk, right? I took the headshot perk. I should specify. So you're getting 20% extra damage and a somewhat straighter flight path, right? With the better bow. Now, ordinarily, without a perk, a headshot deals 1.5 normal damage, right? So it would be 3.6 on this bison, but because I have the perk, it's going to be 4.8. So it's basically, it's either 50% extra damage on headshots, right? Or 20% extra damage on every shot, plus a slightly better flight path. I prefer the 50% extra damage on headshots, but I don't think the other one is a bad choice. It's just a different choice, right? Plus, it depends where you're hunting too. So I'm primarily hunting on this island. The only thing that's really here to hunt, and not only this continent, but this part of the continent, right? I just take my boat across. I go to weighed down. I put it in the canoe or the boat, get weighed down again a couple times till I have enough. I go back, I butcher it, right? The thing is here, there's bison and there's small and tiny animals. There are no medium animals. So everything except a bison, I can one-shot it if I get a headshot. Including wolves and stuff, right? Now, if there was medium animals here, and occasionally you'll see a bighorn wander out of the desert. If there was medium animals here, that wouldn't be the case, right? If I was in a different biome that had a lot of medium animals, like the mountains over there, the cold mountain area, where there's elk and deer and the mountain goat things, then I might take the other perk, right? Since a headshot doesn't kill them anyway. Whereas here, that extra headshot damage lets me one-shot coyotes, lets me one-shot wolves, lets me one-shot a fox. Whereas if I don't have that perk, I don't get the one-shot, right? And bison's heads are big enough that I can usually get multiple headshots. Well, this guy's gonna... No, okay, he's not gonna make a liar out of me. But if this wolf, or let's just one-shot this wolf. Where's its head? Boom, one shot, right? Because I have the headshot perk. So yeah, anyway, there's somebody asked, and I did answer the question in chat, but I wanted to kind of expand on it with actual examples. And it's good. This is exactly what the talent should be. Right? They're both good. It's just personal preference. That's what they all should be. But too many of the jobs, it's like really obvious. Like, I guess like focused workflow and the other one, parallel processing, that one's more of a preference thing, which is good. But like the lavish workplace or whatever the opposite one of that is, does anybody ever not take lavish workplace? Like seriously, I'm legitimately curious. Does anybody ever not take it? Right? Like it's so much better than the other option, in my opinion, at least. Oh, I mean, we're at that point. I mean, this isn't running yet, but it's going to be running tomorrow. But yeah, well, the problem is, so they changed the way mechanical power works. They made like the basic Arastras and stuff need less power. I mean, it is and isn't. I mean, it'll be 2 weeks on Saturday, right? But they did make changes as well that's making it worse. So they changed the way mechanical power works. They made Arastras and stuff need less power. They also made windmills and water wheels give less power, which is fine. So in the early game, it's the same, right? It's the same. But then when you get to the tier 2 stuff, the stamp mills and stuff, they still need a ton of power. You would literally need like 20 water wheels just to do one stamp mill now. But they changed the steam engine to make mechanical power. So now we have all these people running steam engines just to, oh, Craig Walsh, you are behind. Your stream is behind, man. Steam engines just to run their stamp mills, right? And then there's a combustion generator for actual electrical power. Oh, it's fine. I guess you're not that far behind if you heard me say that. Um, what was I going to say? So yeah, so there's more pollution early, and it's just we're not having pollution issues yet, but we did last server, right? The sea level rose, and I know when the new stuff comes out tomorrow or whenever, if it might not be done tomorrow. Like, is any of it done yet, Kitty? The research that I was gonna say that was a bull crap. I hit that headshot. When the new stuff comes out and combustion generators start firing and oil refineries start firing, we're going to have problems with pollution and the sea level is going to rise. And because we're playing a multi-continent map with all this water stuff, like this dock might be able to survive one sea level rise. I just don't want sea levels to rise this time. And it's going to happen if we're not careful, right? So we've been discussing potential solutions. I'm going to put a poll on the Discord later after stream, kind of summarizing the potential solutions and get people to vote. I know where I'm leaning though. But yeah. But like the paper, people could have been selling you the papers all day, right? Like in theory, some of them might be ready to be done. Yeah, basically, we're almost. If this number ever goes over zero, that's when you're in danger, and it's almost over zero right now. And it's 3:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. What's going to happen to this tonight during prime time? Right? It's not going to be good. So yeah, if you're running something that pollutes right now and you don't absolutely have to be, could you kindly turn it off? But this is what I mean. Like, it's 3 p.m. for me, but it's like 2:00 or even earlier in the rest of the United States. I don't know how to tell. I'm not going through the whole map to check, Kitty. I don't have time for that. But obviously, there's enough stuff running right now. Yeah, and I'm sure there were a lot of people like that, Shernix, that knew they were going to be able to not play over the holidays, so didn't bother playing. And I get that. And there's a lot of people that haven't really been on the last few days, obviously. Oh, somebody's asking for an admin. So yeah, pollution's going to be a problem. It's already almost a problem. It's going to be a problem tomorrow. A potentially really, really, really bad problem. And nobody wants that. Small wooden boat disappeared into the cliffside. Well, yeah, it's easy to say build your retaining walls, Cal, but like, how much of this world is coastal though? Like, we cannot afford to have the sea level rise. The server will be done. Right? All right, so where's Tissa at? It actually sunk. It seems to be stuck. Does free car work on boats? Does anybody know? I assume it does. It does work on boats. Okay, thank you. And there's also a bug, Cal, that when the sea level rises, all the ocean becomes deep water, which would be not good. Oh my God, Cold Soul, are you in the stream? Well, the problem with the pollution is they changed it. They changed it a couple patches ago. So now it's much harder to deal with. But yeah, Cold Soul, if you're listening, if if you're asking about those wooden carts because you're planning to use them to store tailings, I'm pretty sure storing wooden carts and tailings does not help. Like, it doesn't matter how far they're buried if they're in a wooden cart. It, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure putting tailings in a wooden cart doesn't matter if you bury them or not, they still pollute. Um, Kitty has a conspiracy theory. They added boats because they knew majority of servers would flood and boats would be needed to travel. Yeah, probably. Um, that I hope you're not asking for carts to bury your tailings. Because burying tailings in carts doesn't work. They still pollute. And yes, I talk to myself when I type, apparently. It still is like that, Cal, as far as you know? Okay, thank you. Anyway, sorry. Never store tailings in carts or trucks. How do I claim land using the map? Didn't they make it so that you can't anymore? Canal tunnels are a little janky. All right. Okay. I mean, it used to be really easy, but I thought they changed it. You just go in here, you go edit. No, I don't have any claim papers on me, so I won't actually be able to do it. But if you have claim papers, you should be able to just do this and submit. Wait, do I have claim papers on me? Did it just let me do that? Yeah. Wait. Oh, I must have claim papers in here. Yes, I have. Okay. If you have claim papers in here, if you have enough, then you can do it like that. Just FYI. That's why I let me do that. Hey, Thorgrim. But yeah, as long as you like, so I could do it for 3 more, and that's it. And then it wouldn't let me do it that way. Yeah, I didn't know. I thought for some reason you couldn't do that anymore. Like this, doing it like this is literally one of the tips in one of my 10 things I wish I knew about eco videos. So go in, click on your property down here, then go into edit, and then just right click and submit. Oh wait, I want to get rid of it. I don't actually want extra property. Yeah, I don't like opening people's doors because maybe they're closed for a reason. You know what I mean? If somebody says, "Hey, come check out my property on your next stream," in those cases, I will open their doors. Yes, if I have this tool in my hand, I can open people's doors. But yeah, Thorgrim, pollution's going to be an issue again if we don't do something. Unfortunately. Okay, so this only updates. What is it, like every 15 minutes? This number updates. Like it's not like a real time thing. Does anybody know how often this updates? It's not like it's not a constant thing. It'll stay. The number will stay this 10 minutes. Okay, thank you, Kitty. That sounds right. So every 10 minutes this will update. So hopefully it goes down into the negatives. But like I said, we're nowhere near prime time right now. But maybe people are off work today. So maybe there's still, I mean, how many people are even online right now? Yeah, I mean, there's a fair amount of people online, but There's probably going to be more people online like 4 hours from now, right? It'll be late in Europe then, but still some of the European people will be up. And anybody who is working today in the US will probably be home by then. Excuse me, except the West Coasters, I guess. They'll probably still be at work. Oh, yeah. So he's refining his oil here. Oh, is he actually pumping oil here as well? Yeah. So here's one of the combustion generators. Yeah. The combustion generators, we have 5 in the world, but they're probably not working yet, right? Yeah. It's only noon where you were. Yeah. So you're in mountain time, right? Be like, what was like New Mexico, Colorado, like Midwest, those places are mountain time. I was going to say Arizona, but isn't Arizona one of the states who actually goes back and forth between 2 time zones because they don't follow daylight savings time? Yeah, it's only 11 in the morning on the West Coast right now. Yeah, so I'm hoping pollution doesn't impact us, but it's gonna because they changed it. Yeah, Arizona and Indiana, I think, don't follow daylight savings times. 10 more? Yeah, well, I already did 10 more things I wish I knew. Yeah, I was going to say that's weird, but who am I to say what's weird? Canada literally has a province that's its own time zone and it's on a half hour. Wait, where did I leave my boat if I didn't leave it here? Oh, I left it over there. It worked? Okay, good. Oh, they changed it. Oh, unless they changed it recently. They're trying to change it back. Okay. I know I used to work in a call center. This was like 20 years ago almost. And it was a call center for an American company, and an ISP. And we had a map of the time zones for the states. And I remember Indiana and Arizona being like, have their own weird color because they were technically in 2 different time zones, depending on what time of year it was. But again, that was 20 years ago. So I think it was Indiana. It was, yeah. Well, obviously it was Arizona because other people have said yes, that I was correct on that one. But yeah. And like I said, I'm worried. I'm worried about the future of this game because like I said, I feel like the vision the devs have for this game does not necessarily line up with my vision for fun, right? Like I said, I play video games for fun, a nice diversion from the crappiness that is life in the 2020s. Indiana used to. Okay, thank you, Steph. That's what I thought. But hey, it's nice to know that my memory did not fail me on that one. Yeah, Newfoundland, the province, it's it's currently 3:43 in Newfoundland. They're their own time zone and it's a half an hour different. It's a half an hour later. That's Newfoundland for you though. They are their own people. To my knowledge, I do not have any viewers in Newfoundland, or nobody's ever claimed to be. I know I have viewers in the other provinces that are close to me. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm Canadian. I live in Prince Edward Island, Canada. Small province on the east coast of Canada that has its own. The East Coast of Canada has their own time zone called the Atlantic time zone. Oh, I'm full. I can't carry that. So it's 3:14. It's pie o'clock right now for me. One of these boats is mine, right? Somewhere. Where did I? Oh, no, is it over there? Oh, I did leave it way over there. I must have. Did I swim over? I don't remember. I don't know. Some days these things bother my ears. It's not every day, but they're bothering them today. So I'm going to take them off because, yeah, why not? Yeah, like I said, once this stuff starts firing up, pollution's going to be bad. The filthy oil company. And yeah, and again, when I say this, I'm not doing this to call out Gilgamesh, right? Because oil needs to be pumped. I've been an oil driller, God, 1, 2, 4 times, maybe 5. Server 1. Oh no, at least 5. Server 1, server 3, server 4. Not 5, not 6. What server was 7? 7 I was. Not 8, not 9. Maybe it was just the 4. 10. Oh, it wasn't 11. I wasn't 11. So yeah, I've been an oil driller 5 times. So I've drilled some oil for sure. You're headed to Halifax, Nova Scotia on the 3rd. All right, cool. That is not all that far from me. I mean, it's too far for me to, drive down and say, hey, let's have a beer. But it's about a 3.5-hour drive, I think, to Halifax for me. But that's also, there's a $50 toll bridge on the way that kind of makes it less good. Lucci didn't want to try out Eco's avatar webcam thing. No, I did not. As soon as I saw that, I was like, no, this is not for me. This is not for me. Oh, I thought I got the headshot. I thought I got the rare back of the head headshot there. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, like the Twitch integration thing, I'm just not a Twitch guy. When I originally started this content creation journey, I started streaming on Twitch before I did anything on YouTube. And I just got to say, and look, I'm not saying YouTube's perfect, but I feel like Twitch has made so many boneheaded decisions over the last 3 years. At some point, I just said, yeah, I'm not using this website anymore. If anybody's wondering why I'm streaming on YouTube and not Twitch, because I started having success on YouTube. And then I don't want to divide my, my user base between the two platforms. If that makes sense. I'd rather keep them all in one. But I do know there is Twitch integration. Twitch does make some wild decisions, yes. And I think they have done some good things lately from what I've seen. I'm not super paying attention to it. And again, I'm not saying YouTube doesn't make bad decisions either, because they do. But yeah. Kitty just summed it up there. Face tracking, yes. Logging level 6 perk, not for you. Right? Like it's a meme at this point. Cutting edge cooking, not for you. Anyway, here's what it is. That's a good amount of bison at least. All right, one more rip. One more rip around here. Wait, how many arrows do I have? 40. Yeah, I got enough arrows. See if we can get some small animals this time. Make sure we have enough. Make sure we have enough pelts. I think they're trying to use your store, Russ. I think. Yeah, they're trying to use your store, and they're saying it's not working. They can't use your store. Oh, look at you. I thought you were going to keep running. I was trying to lead the target and stop running. Paddle boat is faster. Faster than what? The barge? I assume you guys are talking about? Or the medium transport ship? Paper milling actually has use now. Yeah, there's a reason I didn't say that one. Transport ship. Oh, the paddle boat is faster. Maybe I'm not going to upgrade to the wooden transport ship then. I do like having the speed. I mean, it's very rare that I'm filling my boat anyway, right? So does the extra space really help me? Right? I need something to kill. It's like it's going to be you, Mr. Wolf, or Mrs. Wolf. Fox there, too. That was a headshot. Come on. Okay, server leg. I was going to say that. I got robbed of a headshot there. Yeah, I did miss that rabbit. Rabbits are hard to hit if they see you. If you can surprise them, it's not too bad. Good evening, Streeter. How are you doing today? Another nice dock. Yeah, I do not want I do not want the water level to rise. It's limited in use, but you're loving the pictures and the possibilities of what it can do for events. Has anybody been checking these? Are people trying to get pictures through? Wait, are these already approved? Pictures to review. Someone's mom. These are the ones that are already been approved, right? But yes, if you try to like upload a dick pic or something, we're not going to approve it. But did you? So these are the ones you did, right? So yeah, I'm pretty sure we have to review them. The admins. I haven't been checking this, but I guess I'm going to have to start. Yeah, someone's mom that's somebody's character name, by the way. Just the someone's mom isn't a reference to the picture, that's someone's name. Yeah, so this is a problem. Whose farm is this? Freakmonger. So it's not quite getting there, but this ground pollution is getting real close to Freak's farm. So that could be a problem going forward. But that's a problem. Like you can't just not pollute, right? Like you got to pollute to get stuff done. Just kind of, I don't know. There need to be more ways of getting stuff done without polluting if they really want whatever. It's their game. We'll have to play in it. Those are auto approved by the game. We haven't had any non-admins or non-avatar picks that you know of. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I wasn't checking it because I knew we didn't have the technology to be making that stuff in the early game anyway. But now it's there, so other people like Shadow Man has a studio, right? So he might want to start doing it, or he has an easel at least. I don't even know how it works exactly, the whole picture part, right? So don't ask me, ask Kitty. She knows. She's the expert. You are the subject matter expert, Kitty, as far as the pictures and stuff goes. I don't think. Ooh, did I pick up that bison I killed earlier? Anyone you can use the printing press. It doesn't have an op tab from what you saw. Oh, okay. I mean, you can lock it in a room though, right? If you didn't want people to use it. I forget where I killed that bison. Whatever. Free bison carcass for somebody. One of the later items is a camera. Yeah, there is a camera. That is a camera. There is a camera. Because when we were setting up the federation before the server started, we were trying to get enough culture so that the federation would cover the whole world, and we were making pictures. Well, it's mostly Xandra and Kitty. Until I realized I could just change a modifier in the file to make the federation cover the whole world. Yeah. All right, so let's check my meat stocks here. Grab a bite to eat. Another pupusa. I'm still carb heavy. Actually, now I'm meat light. What we got? What do we got for meat? Sausage, campfire roast, bacon. Do I not have any simmered meat left? Here's I do not have any simmered meat left. Oh well. The only way to prevent people from using it is to lick it up or to pick it up. I assume you mean pick it up. That's me making an assumption. All right, so do some lock it up, lock it up. That's a lot. I have a lot of just normal meat now, so if I am short on something, I can make it. So let's see. Am I short on anything? Keyboard. Oh, it happens, Kitty. I fat finger stuff all the time. Sausage. Yeah, let's get some sausage. Oh, that uses scrap meat, which I have. So let's do another 100 sausages. Punch, Xandra, if either of you were there, is there anything that you're going to be buying meat-wise from me in the near future that I should stock? Anyone with siblings knows sometimes you have to lick something to claim it. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. That definitely happened when I was a kid. I have two sisters, but like my older sister's 9 years older, right? So when there's that big of an age difference, they're not really your peer. You know what I mean? And plus, as soon as she graduated high school, she moved away. So I was only like 9 when she moved away. But my younger sister is 2 years younger. So yeah, I know what that's like. We definitely had our moments as kids, right? I mean, we're like best friends now, but when we were kids, I mean, we got along like brothers and sisters did. You're gonna make have an art contest. That'd be cool. Needs to figure out if we'll provide the easels or have people make their own. Specify as children. I don't know. Bluebell still works with me and my sisters. No, I can't say we really do that these days. But yeah, when we were kids, for sure. All right, I probably don't need to hunt anymore. I feel like that's a lot of meat I got coming right now. And okay, no, I'm good on hide, wool, and pelts right now. I do have a free star that I could take, and I was planning to take tailoring. I have these tailor tables. I'm not even a tailor, but I might take it. We'll see. We do have like 4. Now we don't really have. Marauder's not been on. Marauder's gone 6 days. Relica is logged in. Caso de Gallo been gone for almost 3 days. Dramatic Nerd's been gone for almost 4 days. So it might be just Relica. Now, Relica might be able to keep up by herself, but if it appears she's not, I will probably take Taylor. Never worked with your siblings. We were all a-holes, did what we wanted, didn't care if we licked something or not. I think that would have worked when my sister and I were kids. I mean, if it was food, I mean, we didn't really go around licking each other's toys. Because, I mean, if it was a toy, I would just wash it off. Nomadic is on vacation. He has to sign up in the shop. Okay, so he'll be... And that's the thing, right? These people may have just gone to their parents' place for Christmas, right? And they might be back. So I don't like assuming. And it's why I haven't jumped in. But, yeah. That is good to know, though, Swamp Siren. Thank you. So, yeah. So I'm going to put a poll up in the Discord about what we can potentially do. And I just want to say, anytime I put the poll up in Discord, I'm curious what you folks think. Oh, What? Oh, I unlocked another achievement for. Oh, crab went extinct again. Apparently. Yeah, don't worry about fixing the bugs though, guys. It's literally there's a crab. There's a crab right there. Um. So yeah, the polls. I'm curious about what you guys think, but just because something wins the poll doesn't necessarily mean that's what I'm going to do, if that makes sense. Um, well, yeah, you know what they say about crabs. They never really go away. Um, but yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying, Sarah, but the vast majority of us saw it last server and we don't particularly want to see it again. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it wasn't that bad because most people weren't on the coast because it was just one big single continent, right? But like Miso, for example, her whole property was like buried or not buried, was underwater. But like it was good because like a couple people came in and helped her and got a nice sea wall, retaining wall built for her, and I mean, she ended up playing. God, towards the end, I think it was just like her and Eskermore were the only two people playing at the end of it, at the end of the server, I think, and maybe a couple other people, but most people had stopped. Because I remember she made some really nice looking tunnels. But yeah, yeah, we don't. Yeah, once was enough. And oh yeah, because Miso was also one of the farmers, so she had to move fields. It was Miso and Calorie. Of course, this was back when you only needed like two farmers, right? And like I have these basic upgrade fours that I've had forever. These are for those tailoring tables that I've never used. I was ready. I was ready for tailoring. I lent these to somebody. Is why they're here. Anyway, I have the coal. If anybody needs this, does anybody need the sandstone? Probably not, right? No, just the government stores. No, no, wait. Government stores. Rico is buying it. I guess I could sell it to Rico. There's a few other people buying it. They're on like different continents, right? Whereas Rico's on this continent. That would be relatively easy to get it to him. Oh, and also, I'm pretty sure like all the update 10 playtest servers, like White Tiger and Sea Otter, I'm pretty sure like every single one of those servers had the sea level rise. Right. It's not like we as a group are doing something wrong. It's that since they made the changes, it's almost you really have to jump through hoops to not have sea level rise. Right. So yeah, I'd rather not have it happen personally. How's the pollution now? Okay, so it went way down. So some people must have either turned stuff off or they just turned off naturally because they ran out of materials or whatever, right? But yeah, yeah, I'm leaning towards doing something with this. Yeah, a lot of people are the same, kid. They don't want to play once it happens, right? Like, oh, and I'm pretty sure that's what would happen this server because there's way too much stuff that would get impacted by it. Like all the government stores would be underwater, for example, which I don't think would be good. I don't think people would like that. Even though the government stores might be getting used slightly less than normal this run, they're still getting used, right? So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like Xander's like, I got this dock down here, but I am planned for sea level rise. She's like, I am building up high. Xander is good if the sea level rises, but a lot of people wouldn't be. So I'm just gonna shoot a coyote in the face here, just for fun. And Can I shoot a moving coyote in the face? No. Body shot. We'll take it. We'll take the 2 arrow kill. It's fine. Everything is fine. Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna end stream here. I said what I want to say. Like, there were 3 things I wanted to do today. I wanted to talk about pollution, which I did more than I should have probably. I wanted to show the hunting, why I took the perk I did, but why I think the other one is still good. And I wanted to show the canal. Those were the 3 things I really wanted to do today. And we did those. So next stream is going to be Friday. And yes, I know I usually stream Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. This week it's going to be Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Because I'm doing stuff with my family tomorrow and Saturday. I'm getting together with an old board game group that we just don't get together barely ever anymore. So it's kind of a special occasion. So I will stream Friday, same time, noon Eastern, 5 p.m. UTC. Probably be the same time Sunday, I imagine. That's tentative. Friday will definitely be that time. Sunday is tentatively that time, but we'll see what happens. It would be cool to see floating houses. Oh, and look, it's evidently pollution is going to be a problem every server going forward, right? You won't be around Sunday too busy drinking. Oh, it's New Year's Eve. Sunday's New Year's Eve. Right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I won't stream Sunday. I don't know. I'll be streaming Friday for sure. But yeah, going forward, pollution's clearly been an issue every server. So we could do a server where we say, be prepared, right? We're going to try to not pollute, but be prepared for what sea level rise, right? But because, yeah, I mean, people want to see it. I get it. We do have a lot of new players this server, and new players that I'm hoping will come back next server. I think, by and large, this server has been a relatively good experience for most people, right? So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, and the other thing is, I feel like going forward, speaking for myself, possibly Bluebell, possibly. Yeah, I just want to touch on Kitty's point here briefly before I go, because a lot of materials are harder to get, because upgrade modules are harder to get. I think going forward, personally, for me, for most jobs, what I'll be doing is I'll be taking focused workflow and just going with just one table. Because you only need one upgrade. It's cheaper. It's easier. It pollutes less. And yeah, your cap on how much you can make is lower. But depending on what you're making, chances are the raw material's going to be hard to get anyway. Like I have 2 butcher tables. Do I need them both? No, absolutely not. I don't need them both. But I mean, butcher tables don't pollute, so it's not a big deal, right? But yeah, I think that might be something we all need to consider going forward, especially when it comes to tables that pollute. Yeah, I'm not sure if I could flood the server just like an admin. I don't know if there's an admin command for sea level rise. I'll look into it. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you think it would be. You know what I mean? And I mean, honestly, if you really, really want to see it, shameless plug incoming, if I can find it. See if I can. I'm going to link my stream. The stream I had after sea level rose last server. I'm going to see if I can find it. There is an admin command, but not sure if it works in update 10. That would be interesting. Your box in the hill could be beachfront property. Hey, it might be. Now, it generally doesn't rise that much, right? So, okay, so, oh, see, last server I named it Let's Talk About Pollution. This time I named it We Need to Talk About Pollution. All right, so I love it that stream. It's like it's day 18. We have pollution issues for the first time ever in one of my servers, and we need to talk about it and figure out a long-term solution. Apparently, we did talk about it, but we did not come up with a long-term solution. Evidently, because here we are talking about it again and trying to come up with a long-term solution, or at least a short-term solution, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna link that here. There, I'm planning to have another server after this one, Marcos. Um, some days I get frustrated and I'm like, oh, why do I don't want to do another server, but that most days I'm planning another server, yes. But that's my stream. That's my Let's Talk About Pollution stream from last server. I'm assuming I go around and check out where the sea level rose. But I will say for people who are new, there's always a gap between my servers. So basically, we're going to shoot down the meteor sometime late January, right? The server will stay up, but after the meteor, most people stop playing. Generally, there's a month. So we'll shoot down the meteor. Then a month later, we'll start a fresh server. The server will still be up for most of that month if you want to play, but very few people usually play past the meteor, typically. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for today, folks. Like I said, I had the different things I wanted to touch on. Yeah, so hopefully the water level doesn't rise. I know people are curious, but we don't want the water level to rise. Water level, it's bad. But yeah, at some point we could, like we've talked about back when we were, I know I said stream was over, but I'm probably going to talk for another 10 minutes. While we were waiting for update 10 and we were kind of like wanting to do something different, for like a challenge run type of thing. We were talking about like letting the meteor hit the day before the server starts. We were talking about, right? And then rebuilding or planning the meteor to hit on day 5, like early in the run and then recovering from it. So, I'm up for trying something weird, like letting the sea level rise, letting the meteor hit, but we need to know before we start the server so everybody's aware, right? A kitty hide and seek should be happening after New Year's. Yeah, so, and if server 11, by the way, we let the meteor hit. So I live stream the meteor hitting. If anybody, yeah, I don't like reading my DMs on stream, just for obvious reasons. So as soon as I stop streaming, I will read that DM. So yeah, if anybody's curious about seeing the meteor hit, you can watch my stream of that. For anybody who doesn't know and doesn't really care about like being spoiled by it, there's one large chunk of meteor and then like 100 smaller chunks. The large chunk of meteor hit directly on Kitty's property and just absolutely destroyed Kitty's property. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice would I like to check it out for pollution? I mean, I don't know what he means by that. I mean, pollution is fine right now. Like anybody who has anything that pollutes, it's going to be an issue, right? Like there's no, I don't know. I don't know what he means by check it out. Anyway, I'm sure the DM is just more of that. You don't know how to manage it. Oh, you mean like if I tell you we're polluting too much, you just got to turn off anything that basically if you go in to a workstation you go to status, if it has this screen here with CO2 effects, that means it pollutes, right? And this is the rate. So a steam truck pollutes 0.11 parts per million per hour when enabled. And a steam truck obviously is not going to run for a full hour, right? But like, for example, the steam engine, well, it was 2 point something, 2.6 per hour when running, right? Just for example, but if it has this screen, it means it pollutes. So if I'm asking people to turn off their stuff that pollutes, you can tell by your, and I mean, a good general rule, if you see black smoke coming out of it, just in general, if it has black smoke coming out of it, it's probably polluting, right? So right now, it looks like one of blacking out steam engines is running, but not both, right? So that's going to be polluting a bit, but it's one steam engine, right? Now, if his second steam engine and his blast furnace was running, that's when stuff starts to add up. So basically, his steam engine is running to power his screening machine, right? But right now we're good for yeah. But because you guys, I don't know. I've heard both. Okay, so Bagel asked. I was told, oh yeah, you were right there. It was what? Kitty, Thorgrim, and Tarudin, and then Punch was just around the corner from Tarudin. You guys were all kind of clustered together that server. But okay, so Bagel asked in EcoChat, I was told to put high smokestacks. Does that mitigate pollution? I'm not sure. I've heard differing opinions. What I think happens, I don't know, but what I think happens if you raise your smokestack. All right, so let's look at, and again, I'm not trying to pick on Blacking Out. It's literally one steam engine. It's not a big deal, but he just happens to, his property's right here. So he doesn't have a smokestack, right? So if he made a long smokestack, Bagel is asking, does it help with pollution? What I think it does is it still makes the same amount of air pollution. And again, I could be wrong. It makes the same amount of air pollution, but the amount of ground pollution it causes is less. Yeah, well, Katie seems to agree. And the ground pollution ultimately is not what we're worried about. Now, if Blacking Out had neighbors that were farmers, which I don't believe he does, right? Like Chris Tonkamp is far enough away over here. Like, let's say if somebody had an agave patch right here, Blacking Out would probably want to reduce his ground pollution footprint, right? But what we're primarily concerned about right now is air pollution, right? Like the temperature rising, sea level rising, that comes from air pollution. And it's not to say we can just ignore ground pollution. You shouldn't. And ground pollution might contribute to air pollution. It might contribute to sea level rise. I don't know all the ins and outs. But if you're near a farmer in particular, I would try to raise your smokestack. If you're not near any farmers, it doesn't really do much. I don't think you guys are all that close to the farmers. Like, Cold Soul over here. This is where we were earlier. So there was pollution right here, ground pollution, and Freakmonger has crops right here. So if I was Cold Soul, I would try to be a good neighbor and I would raise my smokestack. Raider wants to see his pollution around his place. Ground or air? Yeah, Cold Soul has a lot of pollution. Raider, you are down right here, aren't you? Yeah. Nothing right now, Raider. Your stuff must not be running right now. Yeah, you're not, nothing's running right now. So you're good. So Escamore's got air pollution. Bagel's group has air pollution. Rico has air pollution from cement kiln. And again, I'm not saying you can't air pollute, right? But Who's this? Agadane miner smelter. There must be a steam engine in there because I can't see anything that pollutes. Steam engine power, yeah, powering a stamp mill in the. And again, I'm not doing this to call these people out. If you're in those jobs, you're gonna pollute. It's just, it is what it is, right? But again, if me or one of the admins or anybody really, but in particular, if it's me or one of the admins mentions, hey, pollution is high, we need to cut some back. You probably should. Anyway, thanks for coming out, everybody. Again, next stream will be Friday. Hit that like button, subscribe. If anybody, if anybody really enjoys the way I run the servers and you want to help support me, the best way to do it is through Patreon. Link in the description down below to my Patreon. Shout out to my patrons. I could not do this without them. And here they are. Just thank you, because I did update this. I got the Streeter on there, my newest patron. That's a lot of people. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. I was going to say, and a good New Year, but I will be streaming again before the New Year, so we'll get there. Yeah, that's it, everybody. I forget my outro. Be good to each other. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.